Hello and welcome, Rocket League fans. We are here and we are live with the CENC Southeast Invitational, an FBI tugboat. Here with my man Bast from the past. I almost said Bast from the past. That wouldn't make any sense. We got Colton down there producing away and helping us out, making our jobs as casters just that much easier. And a huge shout out to the U.S. Army for helping us out, sponsoring, partnering, whatever you want to call it, making this event possible. That's really why, for which we want to give out our thanks or something like that. I don't know. It's been a long weekend. Bass, how are we doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm very excited to be here once again with the CENC. It's been a while. I was here last year for this, able to do a little bit of a different event, but I'm happy to be on this one as well because we've got some fantastic collegiate teams that are going to be battling it out here today in order to try and secure themselves not only that share of a $1,500 prize pool, but also a spot at a LAN in November. The two teams that are going to be battling it out are the Florida Atlantic University versus University of Miami. And this is going to be an interesting one. It should be pretty high-level Rocket League. It should be pretty high-flying. And to be honest, all I'm really looking for is just a good game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of where we're at and what kind of is on stakes, or on what the stakes are, excuse me. Round of 16 right now. We are looking a little bit later on here in the playoffs. There's a single elimination as well, so the losing team here will not get a share of that prize pool. Prize pool being $1,000 going on into the first place winners and invitational to that November 6th LAN down in Florida. We'll get more information on that as it comes. Second place be getting $500, but neither of these two teams will be punching their ticket to the money here tonight, just on into the round of a loser goes home with a pat on the back and a good job.
Hey, I'll take that. Listen, when I was playing video games when I was in college, most people basically were just like, all right, cool, have fun. I didn't really have a backing from my college, so it's awesome to see that these guys are getting support from these universities. They are getting chances to represent these universities in events like this. It's just awesome to see, Tugboat. It's nice to see this much support for the collegiate scene, and especially in Rocket League.
Exactly. Such a big name like the U.S. Army. Everybody's kind of realizing the advantage that esports have. But yes, this will be a cross-Florida competition. University of Miami. Stop me if I go too fast here. Out of Miami, down in South Florida. Boca Raton will be Florida Atlantic. That is where Florida Atlantic University is, Boca Raton. So yeah, again, kind of like cross-state rivalry going on right now. Speaking of, let's get this going. Blum, Frisbee, and Hammy Crackers making up your Florida Atlantic team in the left and the blue.
And there you go. There you go with Miami being Corey Idems and Ors T93. Ooh, I like the final name there, Ors T93. That rolls off the tongue a lot better than you would think. Unfortunately, despite the cool name, it's not enough to necessarily completely hold down the defense here. Florida Atlantic scoring early.
We have 14 seconds in, an early one, 106 kilometers per hour as well. Some fast and high-flying Rocket League already. But hey, that's how they do it down in Florida. Items HD. Right there, back to the middle. That's going to be Crackers taking this one off the top for the first little bit to start Florida Atlantic's second offense now. Almost getting to it is Frisbee. Blum, nice little shot on, forcing the hand of not one but two defenders here. This ball comes out. Now, Arrest T93. Arrest T93. You're right. Right?
It's just nice. It's just clean. Rolls off the tongue. Easy to say. And, well, we said it a couple of times here, but not necessarily for the reason that I think that Miami are hoping for. They've been on defense for quite some time, just trying to break out here, look for some sort of chance, but can't seem to get past this midfield presence that all of Florida Atlantic have started to develop here. They aren't necessarily able to get a lot of solid shots in, but this is a chance. A little bit of a mistouch on the backboard. Luckily enough, Corey will get there well before the teammate. Be able to try and take this one out. Ors T now going to send this one the other way. Blum waiting in the wings, but I like this. Finally, we start to see some signs of life out of Miami. Took them a second, but now they're finally getting an offense together.
Blum earlier, now Frisbee, like more able to be forecasted misses across the middle. Not going to go bode well for the offense nor defense of Florida Atlantic. Looking at University of Miami, Hurricanes trying to take advantage of this one. Frisbee, once again, plenty in the tank, does not get there.
Not quite able to do so, but again, this is only game number one here in this best of five. Plenty of time for these teams to develop and really feel each other out. So you expect a game one that's going to be a little bit more tentative, a little bit more passive, and well, boy, a little bit more mistake-driven here as, oh, wow, that was quite something. 3 whiffs in a row. Well, Florida Atlantic will take advantage.
Yeah, unfortunate stuff. Well, of course, this is not like a single-day tournament as well, so this is not the two teams that have been playing all day. Game one is just that, like you mentioned, Bass from the past. Regardless, minute 45 in, 2-0 is not a Fantastic score if you're a Hurricanes fan.
It's not a good one. It's definitely it's a recoverable position with 3 minutes remaining here. Plenty of time for them to be able to come back, but I really do think they just need to get some offense together. They're through almost 2 minutes of regulated play here. They do not have a single registered goal yet, shot yet, let alone goal. So, yeah, Miami just need to get a little bit more offense together. They're starting to break out towards midfield, but let's get some shots on target. Let's see them really throw something at this Florida Atlantic team.
That's the thing. The Florida Atlantic squad have not really even been tested that hard on offense yet. You got to shake this tree, see what falls out. Hammy Crackers over on the left side. Florida Atlantic assuming the offensive again. Up to it. Nice little tapper action. That's Arrestee 93, setting this ball free to the left side.
Sent up again, though, with no relief at all. Florida Atlantic continuing to press the issue here. They really just don't want to let them out past their, final third. They're recognizing that if they can keep the pressure up long enough, eventually there will be a minor mistake, and this team is quick enough that they can punish on that. Speaking of punishments, maybe we can finally see Miami get themselves an offense. Ooh, no, that was short-lived, and then all of a sudden going the other way. Frisbee gonna slam this one home in the blink of an eye. Florida Atlantic up by 3.
Speaking of the blink of an eye, seriously, that's how you transfer an offense into a decent defense, a defense into an offense fast in the past. 3-0 now. This has been all Florida Atlantic in the driver's seat so far all the time.
And a rather interesting game here, because it doesn't necessarily feel like Miami are falling far behind. It's just they have not been able to get those offensive chances. Their defense is standing tall. It seems very prepared for most of what Florida Atlantic throws at them. But the issue is most isn't quite good enough if you're not getting offense on the other end. But finally they do. First shot of the game, and it's a banger.
Yep, no goose eggs here. 101 seconds left in this first game of 5, or possibly a 5. First to 3, best of 5. I suppose they're the same because ties are not possible. A great game of Rocket League. 1-3. This just got a lot more manageable, right? Like, the difference between 0 and 1 is so big. Far bigger, not mathematically, but far bigger than the difference between 0 and 2 and 1 and 3. 0 and 2 is just impressive.
I think the big thing here is just trying to crack open that seal, giving themselves the best chance possible now by finally finding some momentum, finding some confidence, and recognizing that, hey, we haven't had a lot of shots here, but when we do get them, boy, are we going to make the most of them. So that's the mentality right now, I would imagine, from Miami. It's just trying to hold strong on defense until they get a chance. Unfortunately, a little bit of a team bump, and it's going to lead right back to a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, unfortunate double commit down bottom, too many cooks in the kitchen, and Miami gets burned for it. Taking it to the numbers, Bass. University of Miami, 1 shot on, 1 shot in. If there is a nugget of solid goal to be taken from this game, that's that. They're 100% on their shot completion ratios. Other side, that's, 9 or so? Yeah, 9 for 6, so a little bit less than half of Florida Atlantic.
Wait, 9 for 6. Wait, what?
You know what I'm saying.
Where'd you even get the 6 from? I'm rather impressed on that one. Listen, man, I have not one to say anything because caster math is never my friend, but I can tell you one thing's for certain. University of Miami, very few shots. Florida Atlantic, a whole lot of them. They've been pressing this entire game, just putting pressure on, not allowing Miami to get out past this half. And it's got to be frustrating if you're Miami because you guys are playing a really good game. You're not really breaking down on defense. You're just not getting enough chances to really be able to respond.
Not an ideal movement across the side right here. Those items that try to get up to it, try to kind of influence Crackers right there, and then Arrestee is not able to get the ideal placement. Gonna go ahead and call it game number 1. 4 scores in 30 seconds. Not gonna happen.
Nope. This one's going in favor of Florida Atlantic. But again, like we keep saying, University of Miami are still very much in this series. They look really solid. We just need to see more offense from them. So I'm interested in your thoughts here. Talk about if they do want to try to get some more offense together and get past this midfield presence of Atlantic, what do they got to do? What do they got to change up?
We haven't seen very many demos in here. Like, there's obviously several different tricks, like several different things that can't be utilized. You can kind of pull out of the sleeve there. Demos wouldn't be bad, but just trying something because I really feel like University of Miami just employed the same game plan for the second half of this, whereas, like I always say, man, loss of 1, same as loss of 5, still an L, and a loser here overall. You drop 3 games, you'll be eliminated from this tournament.
Yeah, and the unfortunate truth is that University of Miami, Not necessarily looking too great to end this one either. They're looking for some confidence to try and propel them into a better game too, but now they've just gotten Braziled, and not necessarily going to feel great. 16 shots from Florida Atlantic at this point, Tugboat.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, since last time I mentioned it, I think that was University of Miami. Yeah, there was University of Miami that they just put up a third, so at least that's 3 total. I don't know, not great numbers there. 7-1 will be your scoreline for game number 1. Not ideal stuff, but again, used as that kind of beginning intro lesson to the other team. Now they'll have a little bit of time to kind of figure out what they don't want to do again, what they don't want to allow happen for the other side as well.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more of a competitive game here in game number 2. But for University of Miami, like you said, there's a couple of things they really need to do. If they're getting this frustrated on the back end, I would agree with you. Getting some physicality in here, really starting to mix that up is going to be key. In addition to getting that physicality, they also just need to try and work on a better rotation when it comes to their final third, because it feels rather panicked once they're back there. They are prepared. They do seem to be able to make a lot of solid saves, but they're kind of doing a lot of double commitments in order to make them. If they can just have a single player who goes after the ball, is able to force the defense or force the offense into an awkward position, and then can have a player cleanly follow up, they're going to be in a lot better of a position to really transition out of their half. So it's up to University of Miami at this point. They have shown they can have some defensive prowess, but now they just have to execute.
Exactly. Just cleaning up the edges a little bit, and then get it going forth and just simply getting it done. 7 total saves from these. Arresting 93, having 4 of them himself. I can definitely agree with you. That's one of the many things, again, they can kind of do. I mentioned demos. That's a perfect example of another Bass. Just simply come through here and kind of change it up a little bit. And that might just be a quick comms issue as well. Once the defense gets hot and heavy and whatnot, the premonition to go forth and double commit can go forth and really bite a team and force scores where they just wouldn't have been otherwise.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be an interesting one. Like you said, just trying to force these guys into interesting opportunities that are not necessarily going to pop up without a solid rotation. Well, let's see if they can do exactly that. Miami, game number 2, an important one for them. They are down by 1 in this series. Do not want to have to reverse sweep against a hot Florida Atlantic team, but it's all up to them. Here we go. Game number 2 underway.
See how this one goes. There was a whole lot of offensive pressure from Florida Atlantic in the beginning of the first game. So far, it's just more of like a middling action. No one really taking advantage so far in their scores, obviously. More players down bottom. And Miami moving this one out now. Across the right, Blum has something to say about that one, though. Arresting 93 up to the top. Just a lot of back and forth right now.
Yeah, so far, just a little bit of a tentative back and forth. I do like that Miami are getting out of their own half, and they are spending some time on the Florida Atlantic half here. But, again, it's not necessarily about them spending time on the half as much as it is getting in shots. There's a shot that will go on target. Hammy Crackers will save it out to the side. But I already like this. The fact that Miami have already registered a shot within the first minute of play, very different than before. And this court-to-court offense and defense, or end-to-end, offense and defense here is fantastic.
Simply a team performing a little bit differently in this one. And also, minute 20 or so? I believe the score was already 2-0 at that point. Hammy Cracker is doing something very fancy up top. Jorge sitting back, playing the rotation well, but not until Frisbee has something to say about this. Flying in his Frisbee over on the right side after a clean takeaway from the University of Miami.
I hate to say it, but the first thing that happened there is a double commitment. They could have been able to be a little bit more prepared there, not had to force a little bit of a desperation save at the end. Had they been a little bit more organized in the back end, I really do agree with you in saying that it might just be a communication thing. Because if you can call out to your teammates that you're going for the ball, at minimum what it does is force your opponents to try and readjust, and then they can approach at a little bit of a different angle. And it doesn't really feel like Miami are recognizing that quite yet. Again, still a very solid defense. They really do have a lot of good on-the-line saves, but I'd say they'd rather be prepared for these saves than on-the-line desperation last-second ones. So let's see if Miami can turn this one around. They've got 3 minutes remaining here, plenty of time to just get this 1-goal equalizer, and then they can continue going up from there.
Yeah, some fancy plays from Items, looking to follow that one up now over the side. Can't quite get past it. I do like the predisposition to go and rotate. 2 minutes, 45 seconds, back up to it. Handy wins this one. That's decently on point as well. Arresting 93 forced the hand there. Super fast shot. Corey is exactly where they need to be.
Like this, though, we're seeing a lot more speed here. University of Miami really doing a good job at getting past that midfield and getting through with a force. They just need one good shot. Let's see if they can find it here off the backboard. Idems is up, but not able to get around Frisbee. The littlest touch, but it's enough to interrupt the offense. And Florida Atlantic will hold on to their lead for now.
Correa having a solid opportunity right there, is coming at this one at an odd angle and a little bit too fast. Gonna yield nothing so far. Shot to the side. That's Blum actually coming in. Fake shot, goes for the goalie. Only a couple seconds. Now Correa's back and gets the good respawn there. 120 seconds left. This is Florida Atlantic on the offense.
Or on the offense, but they haven't had nearly as much success as before. What, 8 total goals? 7 or 8 in the last game that they ended up scoring? So the fact that they have been held to only 1 through over 3 minutes of play is a big difference than before. And it's why University of Miami at this point. Oh, I was going to say absolutely have a chance back into this one. Unfortunately, though, despite their incredibly solid defense, after 3 minutes of play, they finally crack.
Yeah, so University of Miami, 4 shots already, past halftime significantly now. They didn't quite get that in the first game, so what this says, part of the reason why the score is lower than it is simply the University of Miami have more opportunity in offense and be able to burn time there. Now they just need to turn that time into actual points on the board.
We're going to have to see if they can do that, though, because with only 90 seconds remaining, it's up to them to just find that first goal, open up or break off the seal here, and just give themselves the best chance possible. Shots like that are going to help, but it is not enough. Just barely saved out, but it is a save nonetheless, and Hammy Crackers will pick up a Savior medal with it, 3rd of the game. Florida Atlantic showing they can get it done on both ends. Can they continue to do so for another 70 seconds, though? It's crunch time, Tugboat. This is a big game for both of these teams.
Yeah, huge. Game 1's that litmus test. Game 2, different story entirely. Nobody wants to be put on match point coming into game number 3. Big hit across the top, down to the bottom. Correa meets it there and avoids a collision down bottom with a teammate. Now, assuming that offensive, Miami coming at this one. Correa. A little bit too high, a little bit too low on this, sends this one high, back on over the right side, Rusty 93 there. Just a little bit too high again. Hammy Crackers now trying to take this one out.
Going to take this one out, and if they put in a goal right now, this is going to be a dagger. They tried to fake out everybody on the line. Clever play from Florida Atlantic for a number of reasons. One, obviously, you know, the cleverness of trying to fake, but 2, it means they can kind of hold on to possession. They're not afraid of the ball getting boomed away from them as long as it's a clean boom into open space that they can cover. Look at this. They're just allowing all of Miami to play into their hand because they know they just need to waste time and try and keep this one away from them, and they will do exactly that all the way into their own backboard and just dribbles it across the air because they know that this one is set in stone. Florida Atlantic take a 2-0 lead here in the series. They are 1 game away from sweeping, and again, Miami getting a lot better here, but still can't quite find enough offensive support.
7-1 in the first game, transitioning that into a 2-0 in the game number 2. A goose egg's never going to feel good, but that is not a bad look after such a one-sided game number 1. I think that's fair based on the numbers. Looking at this as well, 5 shots on University of Miami, improving there as well, and now keeping, 9 for Florida Atlantic, so that is kind of like a little bit lower as well. So again, I'm really excited to see where Game 3 goes. At the end of the day, we just want some more Rocket League, right? We'd love to see a Game 4, even a Game 5.
Yeah, that's the big thing here is that we really do want to see more Rocket League, just have it completely go back and forth, just have a good series here. That's what we're here for. We're all fans of Rocket League as an esport. We're all fans of seeing a good back and forth. We're also fans of these teams getting their most amount of time to shine, and that's what we want for Miami is a chance to display what they really are made of, to show us how solid of a team they can be. But it's up to them now to show us exactly that. Game number 3 underway. University of Miami on the verge of being swept out of this event. And Florida Atlantic would love to be the ones to do so. Been punishing all day. Can they punish one more time? It's game number 3. We're about to find out.
Yeah, so no super early goals in this one quite yet, but yes, that is the narrative as of right now. University of Miami won 5-minute game away from getting eliminated in a single elimination. No round of 8 for them if that happens. They either have to win here and force the reverse sweep all the way through, or they will drop, and they will lose, and they'll get a salutation on the way out. 32 seconds into this one, Rusty coming up for it, but once again, just not able to connect really there, Russ.
Trying their best. They are absolutely starting to get these offensive chances together, but I kind of do worry that they're still just a little bit behind their opponents in terms of power on these shots. We've seen a lot of threatening plays out of Florida Atlantic, and that's what makes this all the harder for the defense of Miami is that they can withstand a couple of those shots, but what happens when they make one mistake and the shots don't stop? All of a sudden, it's a slow breakdown, and that slow breakdown can lead to gaps in the back end that a team like Florida Atlantic are absolutely going to accentuate and take the most advantage of. So far, they haven't been able to do that here in game number 3. Over a minute of gameplay gone, and oh boy, double demo is going to open up. Triple demo is going to open up some space. Florida Atlantic coming through with the bully ball.
Yeah, seriously, every single member. If you were on University of Miami squad right there, you just got eliminated and then had to watch this goal happen. 1-0 now, minute 14, exactly the same scoreline at exactly the same time that they got in game number 2. We'll see if this continues to follow the theme, Bass.
That's interesting. Stats man here showing that he knows exactly the time. I'm rather impressed by that one. Well, you want to impress me one more time? Tugboat, early prediction. When's the next goal happening and for what team? Is it going to be another one for Florida Atlantic? Let's see. Let's see your psychic powers, my friend.
They don't reach that far. They don't reach that far. Yeah, sorry. It would help if I could know what these players are thinking as they go in, but you know, maybe that's later season stuff. That's for the grand finals, right? That's for the best.
We'll get to the grands, and then you'll be predicting every single goal that happens. Heck, you'll already know, because, you know, obviously you have the script, as everybody likes to say here.
There it is.
Jokes aside, at this point, I don't really know if University of Miami are going to be all that happy with this ending script here. They are currently down by 1 with 3 minutes remaining and are getting faked out on the line, on the verge of getting swept out of this event because, oh my word, the offense of Atlantic has come alive.
Heavy crackers. Yeah, it's not always fast and loud here in the great game of Rocket League. Sometimes you gotta slow it down that tiny little bit. That's gonna pay off right there. A little fake action. 25 seconds till halftime. University of Miami, if they're gonna come alive, they have to do it right now.
Can they do exactly that? They need to just keep with this offensive pressure. Only 1 registered shot through over half the game, or just about half the game played. Meanwhile, 6 shots for Florida Atlantic, but 3 goals, shooting 50% across the board and doing so in a very spectacular fashion.
Yeah, so 6 shots, that's about the same time if my memory serves well. This game, you know, game 2 was looking hopeful. This game 3 is looking pretty much like game number 1, that 7-1 scoreline.
Yeah, unfortunately so. It looks like Florida Atlantic are starting to recognize how to really break down this defense, where those gaps are, and how to accentuate them tenfold. Halfway through the game, though, so still technically plenty of time for Miami to get back into this one. But we go back to what we were saying before. They just need to find some more offense. But in game number 2, they were breaking out of their half, giving themselves some chances. This one, they've been forced back in for quite some time. Maybe they can do something here. Idem's up for this one, but so is Frisbee, and so Correa will have to try and corral this one out from the side. But very short-lived. Again, another one-and-done offense for University of Miami. And, well, Florida Atlantic, it's a one-and-done offense, but for a very different reason.
Hammy Crackers hits teammate. Blums goes back to actually, I believe, did get to interact, kind of slow down the defender as he was trying to come in there, and then Hammy Crackers puts on a clinic up front as well. Some fancy axle work, footwork, I don't know. And then he gets the 4th goal here. This isn't done yet, but we're staring down the barrel of that right now, Bass.
Yeah, unfortunately so. For University of Miami, they were hoping to have a little bit of a better response here in Game 3 after cutting it so close in Game number 2. Not really quite the case, though. Unfortunately, they've been held back with their shots again. This offense been rather muted due to the offense of Florida Atlantic just absolutely stunting. These guys are unrelenting. They are up 5-0.
Florida Atlantic looking real good right now. 5-0. Little balance play across the bottom. Members of Miami cannot get there. I think that was Aresti is down lower. It was pretty close. All for naught. I'd love to see Miami score at least a couple times here. No one wants to see another goose egg.
Yeah, 100%. We'd like to see at least them get some offense together here, sort of display what they really can do. You're getting very close, not quite able to get a second shot registered there, but maybe, they can display some defense. Fantastic interception from Idems, but I know you saw it as well, Tugboat. There's the demo, and whenever that happens, it turns into a slow burn. Florida Atlantic not actually going to continue with their offense. Ooh, I like that. Creativity out of Miami.
Yeah. Almost a perfect redirect right there. Correa coming flying into this one as well. So this is the University of Miami. They have not given up. They're still going into this one. Still time left. Not sure if that's enough to get 5 of them, but still, I love what I'm seeing right now, Bass.
Oh, yeah, this is a much more aggressive University of Miami. It's a shame that this only appeared during the second half of what is going to be our last game. Would love to have seen them firing out the gates like this, but so would they, unfortunately, as they are no longer going to have the chance to really display this offensive prowess, as they have now taken the loss here in 3 games straight. I'm going to call it with 40 seconds left and a 5-goal deficit. Unfortunately, sometimes it's not only your enemies that you are facing, but the clock as well. And the clock in this instance just doesn't have enough time for a comeback.
Yep, not enough sand in the hourglass for this one right now, Bass, unfortunately. Require a divine intervention or something like that, I don't know. Little balanced play. Again, Miami not giving this one up, but we're going to call this done and dusted. It's still better. I mean, I would say that a 5-0 is better than the 7-1, right? And of course, the Brazil statement.
I think everybody just doesn't really want to get Brazil. Everybody knows exactly what that is and, the sort of legacy that it leaves behind here. That being said, they still would like a goal for the road. Shutout not necessarily that much fun either, and they're trying to avoid that at all costs, but no such luck. Florida Atlantic going to spike it out at midfield, and they will take the series 3-0 to the team in blue, and boy, oh boy, did they display some fantastic offense.
They did. This intrastate rivalry between Florida Atlantic over there in Boca Raton, University of Miami down there in South Florida and Miami. Going to go the way of Florida Atlantic. University of Miami didn't play a terrible game. Like you said, the second half of this was a lot more close. Yes, the 2-0 scoreline might belie that for game number 2, given that we went from a 7-1, 2-0 into 7-1, 2-0 to 5-0. But still, we would have liked to see extra Rocket League. That is not where we're going to be at today. We're going to go to a very short break, and we're going to try and whip up a little interview action for you guys. Don't tune away, because Bass and I would take it personally.
I'm on my own, broken alone.
And we are back. The CENC Southeast Invitational interview coming in now. We got Frisbee from the winning squad. That's the Florida Atlantic University squad coming on in to give us a minute of his time after the game. Frisbee, you with us?
Yes, sir. How are you guys doing?
Well,
Doing
doing well.
fantastic.
Not as good
Very
as you, I
excited.
can assume.
Yeah, we're ecstatic.
Absolutely. Makes sense. Makes sense. Congratulations. Baz has got a couple questions for you. I've got a couple questions for you. We'll get you on out of here.
Sounds
I
good.
mean, the first thing I'm going to ask is just sort of like, aside from, being ecstatic about the fact that you guys really did do a very good job here in this game, how does it feel to have an offense like that? You guys were Loctite throughout that entire game. It felt like you guys had a game plan every time you approached midfield. If you got an offense together, you kept with that offense until eventually you found a good shot. The concentration you guys had is fantastic. How does it feel to have a team that well organized? What are the comms like for you guys?
Yeah, so comps are actually pretty organized, or at least we tried to be. They weren't really the first week, but overall, they've gotten way better. We're always trying to communicate where we are. We're not trying to rotate fully all the way back because that kind of
Mm.
kills the momentum of our offensive pressure, and that's probably one of the biggest things for us, and that's a positive, is our offense. Our offense is like major, major, and if they turtle up like that, we're gonna punish you majority of the time.
I can understand why. I mean, you guys have just thrown so much offensive pressure at your opponents that I would say most offenses are going to, or excuse me, defenses are going to be able to struggle against you guys. But it really just kind of felt like one of the biggest things you guys did was just never stop pushing, no matter what. You made sure that you kept that lead, kept on playing as aggressively as possible, and I commend you for that. Talk about any questions for the young lad.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, you guys winning this now, moving on from the round of 16 into the round of 8. Obviously, you got to win the round of 8, the round of 4, and then the grand finals that 2. But I want to ask you, if you do get to the grand finals, what is Frisbee going to be spending that cash on?
Probably just some school supplies, maybe pay back my parents for
There you
sure.
go.
For sure.
Responsibility,
I like that
responsibility. I
answer.
like it. I like it. Yeah, solid
Absolutely.
lessons learned in college and university, right? I like
Exactly.
it. I like it. And then, of course, the winner of this, the overall winner of this, will be getting that punching that ticket down to the Florida LAN on November 6th. That is going to be. Yeah, we'll get more confirmed right there. But I want to ask you how, if you believe that your success online will transfer to LAN.
I think so. I mean, we have an esports arena here, so we're very, very blessed to have that and be able to communicate with each other. Unfortunately, Hammy wasn't able to make it here, but me and Blum are both sitting right next to each other, best of friends. But yeah, that's the LAN environment. But the only thing that I would say would be the connection part of it.
Mhm.
But overall, like we're getting the hours in together right next to each other. So I think LAN, if we do make it, is going to be a major, major.
Absolutely, absolutely, and having like active experience right now in the esports arena that you guys have set up there at the Florida Atlantic University, it's awesome to hear. A lot of support in the collegiate scene. That's always awesome, always awesome to see. But yeah, Frisbee, I want to thank you for coming on and give us some of your time after the game. Do we have any shout outs from you before we get you on out of here?
Of course, I'm going to shout out my two teammates, Hammy Crackers and Blum. Those guys, dedicated teammates, and couldn't be prouder. My coach Hendo, who's stuck with us, he keeps us calm in the comms, so that's a very, very big help. Our manager Marshall, who basically runs everything for us, so we don't really have to worry about the nitty gritty and just play. So those are the shout outs for me.
I'm with it. I'm with it. This is both the support both in game and out of game, which are equally important. Frisbee, congratulations again. Have yourself a good night.
Thank you. You as well.
Not a problem. Not a problem. This has been the CENC Southeast Invitational. That was the University of Miami falling to Florida Atlantic University in 3-0 fashion. Florida Atlantic will be moving on to this next round. Fast in the past. Outside of the Overwatch that we got over there at 10 p.m. excuse me, at 10 p.m. between App State and Auburn. Do we have anything else for the good people before we go ahead and get on out of here?
I do not think so. I think we've had a fantastic night full of some really good Rocket League. But the good thing is that there will be more. Like we said, this is a round of 16, meaning there are many more teams still available. This is just narrowing it down to that top 8. So, Tugboat, we're going to have a lot more going on here, a whole lot more games. And, well, you guys are just going to have to stay tuned to find out when. But where can we see you next time, my friend? What are you going to be up to next?
Oh man, you know me. I'm always up to something. Always up to some kind of cast in trouble, bash in the past. I mean, I'm very thankful for the collegiate season, honestly, because Monday through Thursdays, past couple weeks, and for the next month and a half, you see me on all kinds of different collegiate stuff. Just Twitter's down there, Bass is down there as well, and I cannot think of a sane reason why anybody would not go out and follow both of us right now. Big shout outs to Colton as well and EMP Live Design. That's the just the goated production company. Anything you want done broadcast wise, I am certain beyond certainties they can get it done. Big shout outs to KTAD as well as Colton. Colton being the producer, KTAD helping out again that outside direct broadcast support was very, very important. And shout out to my co-caster as well. Shout out to Bass from the Past. Couldn't have done without you, my friend. We appreciate you guys watching. We will catch you next time. Be sure to tune in at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, that's App State and Auburn playing a little Overwatch action then. Catch you then.
I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare.